Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? And welcome back again to another daily Casper and crypto live stream. And well, history is being made continuously right now, which is, of course, great news for us to be seeing. Bitcoin is doing very, very well right now. However, we have seen a bit of a FUD, a bit of negative news, if you will. Apologies for that. A bit of negative news, if you will, regarding proof of stake, or simply projects that aren't proof of work. So we've got a lot of sources to cover in today's stream. Again, because I'm currently not on my usual setup back in London, I'm currently up in Scotland with some family. There will probably be some issues with streaming here and there, so just bear with me. And equally, this stream may not be as long as the typical 1 hour minimum, but we'll see how it goes ultimately. Right now, things are looking up in the market. Bitcoin is continuously making all-time highs now, sitting at $111,700, which is great to see. Currently up 1.9%. That's because of two reasons. Because it's the time to do so, but also because of the bond market. We can see that across the board, alts, all cryptos are doing very, very well. All that bar Sui'S. And I'm sure everybody knows exactly why. We'll get into exactly why in a moment. Sui'S got hacked, or one of their dexes got hacked. And we're going to basically be going through in this stream the big macro and fundamental news, plus some of the capital developments, and equally the belief why we are here in Casper. Now, I want to reiterate here that while these projects I'm going to be highlighting, the ones that, have quote unquote issues, they're still going to do well this cycle. They're still going to do well this cycle for many reasons, but just for one reason being they all have VC backing. So these insiders are going to pump the project up higher. But there's a higher level of risk to them. Casper, in my belief, is the safest, or besides Bitcoin, the safest crypto in this space. Because it's decentralized, therefore taking advantage of Casper, hacking into it is near impossible. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. But again, if you enjoy this content, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And welcome back everyone again to the channel. Welcome back Dimitar, my man. First, welcome back, brother. And again, to remind you all, because I'm not on my usual setup, I cannot load up the live chat. So I'm just going to be reading your names and acknowledging your questions to me. I thank you all for being here once again during this awkward time of streaming. But either way, still getting your daily content out there. Greg, second brother, welcome back. And the first time at the stream, as you should, my man. Love to hear it. DC, welcome back, my man. And Devious Me, bro, how you doing? Kryptoni, let's go for it. You know it. You know it. We are about to see an absolute surge in crypto. I am under the impression we're going to see Bitcoin rally. How high? I'll probably delve into it a little bit more throughout this stream. I haven't got a exact price target, but I can like to believe we'll probably see it approach. I want to see it try and break above 116k. I'd like to say, give or take, around this zone. Again, I'll get into that a little bit more in a moment. We're seeing Bitcoin rally, we're seeing alts follow in suit, and eventually when the dominance falls off, which we can see right now, again, the dominance for Bitcoin is still exceptionally high. So of course, alts aren't necessarily rallying against it. That 64%. Remember, in the last cycle, the last two cycles even, you saw dominance fall back below 50%. That's when alt season really starts. So we've still got quite a good period of time left until we see alt season right now. So all we're going to see right now is Bitcoin rallying, alts following in suit, and then dominance for Bitcoin will fall off. Then alts will have its time to shine, and Casper is going to go crazy, in my belief, absolutely crazy. And we'll delve into that more in a moment, exactly why. Common Sense, man, welcome back, bro. Or again, welcome back. Yo to you too, Mr. Miles. You're not first, but welcome back, my man. The metal grinding sound you hear start off the stream is one of Jay's torture tools. No. Let's stop this narrative. That Bitcoin chart's looking good. It's looking amazing, DC, honestly. It's looking very, very healthy, and I'm hoping it's going to continue in this fashion going forward. Almost time to try and catch finish. You're very right, Mila. Well, our time is almost here. Yo, Wyatt, bro. Welcome back, my man. And you too, Obi1.Casper. You too, welcome back, bro. And DC says, Mr. Miles, you are green. What does this mean? Is it the radioactive isotape Jay is feeding you to maintain control? I mean, sure. Sure. Sui is a poor man's soul, just saying. I'll expand on that comment in a moment, Wyatt. Solana is just flaky as F, and yes, DC Solana is also going through some shortcomings. And bingo bango, my man, welcome back to the stream. Hopefully you're all having a very, very good Thursday so far, a good day, good week. You know, weekends up and coming, and hopefully we'll see the continuation of the momentum going forward as well. Mr. Master, I'm green because Jay is a jerk. That's the truth. Sure. Sure, if you want to plead that. Now, we're looking at the current market right now. Things are looking very, very good. Kaspa's currently up 3.66% on the daily time frame. So far, with Bitcoin now rallying in this, momentum, I'm under the impression and hoping, therefore, Bitcoin will continue, and therefore, this here would have been the local bottom for Kaspa. Considering what's about to come out, smart contracts on the very horizon, more speculation, of course, accelerating regarding tier 1 listings. I'm under the impression that was a bomb for Kaspa in this pullback at 10.3 cents, and therefore we're going to see Kaspa make this push above 13 cents, pushing towards the next level, which should be around 16, 15 cents, give or take. Again, if you want to draw out a level to find out exactly where we're seeing some resistance right now, we draw up this trend line from this absolute top end line here. We can see it does need to be a level of resistance around here, so we'll probably see some rejection around 16 cents or so. But Kaspa, for me, most definitely will blow past that, and we'll see it go a lot higher as well. Welcome back, Falcon, my man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Mr. Miles says, I rigged the membership system. God, if I wished, if I had done that, it would have been even funnier. But unfortunately, it was complete RNG, and that's what makes it, just, it's an act of God, I'm going to blame it as an act of God for why you didn't get membership and you had to get your own one. Or it was Kryptonian, either way. Welcome back, Magnus. Manager doing very, very well. I'm not saying they won't give up more about their short failings they have. Oh yeah, no, I know you're not. I know why you're not saying that. And I kind of understand where you're coming from. And the way I perceive it is, Sui is the quote unquote poor man Solana in the sense of yes. For though at the same time, it is no different. Fundamentally speaking, it's no different. Let's get into the content for today right now. So yes, right now, Kaspa looking very, very good all in all. You can see if you look at the market chart, apologies, it's in white. It should be in dark screen, so I hope you didn't get flashbanged. You can see the volume right now. Actually, let me refresh the page actually, because I don't think I've refreshed the page since yesterday's stream, so it's probably changed now. Right, yes, 108 million 24-hour trading volume, which is much better, of course. Again, we want to see a lot higher, still waiting for that surge up to 600 again. We can see again when the data does finally start to load what exchanges are dominating the charts for Kaspa right now, which again, it's also getting a sweet time. I apologize. Should I have this preloaded? I really do apologize for that rookie hour for me right there. I'll come back to it when it actually does load then, I guess. Let's get into the content then to start off with while we wait for CoinMarketCap to sort itself out. Again, it is probably my connection being a bit lackluster because I am, again, not at my home setup. So let's start off here with Naka Sompo. So let me get this straight. Tau is having critical back-end issues. Sui is now dealing with a hack. Solana is switching to Rotor/Rotor, and Ethereum is forcing a Pectra upgrade to keep up. It's never been a better time to buy Kaspa. Fast, pure, proof of work. Very few understand. And this is, for me, a very short, very brief, but actually the perfect epitome of what this whole stream is going to be about. We're going to be, delving into effectively everything here, from Tau's issues to, well, at least not the ins and outs, but some of Tau's issues, Sui'S recent hack, Solana and Ethereum, and ultimately how the funny part is with Solana and Ethereum, at least, these two upgrades, if you will, they were done conveniently just as Kaspa did 10 BPS. They almost felt like they were reactionary and necessary upgrades for them to try and keep up. And for me, it's like beating a dead horse. It is not, or it's putting lipstick on a pig. It's going to not do much in the long run because Kaspa is going to significantly challenge and surpass every other infrastructure in this space. Has the chart back up yet? No. Okay, well, let's just forget that for the time being. So let's get into the first part here. So we can see here, Kaspa Class here, who made a post here saying that in the last few weeks, two of the biggest layer ones, being Ethereum and Solana, have announced major changes. Ethereum launched Pectra and Solana revealed Alpenglow. These aren't routine upgrades though, because they are seemingly and coincidentally, they are reactions following soon after what happened with Kaspa when we saw the crescendo upgrade on the 5th of May, which was about, 17 days away from now? It happened 17 days ago? Well, not long ago. So if we break it down a little bit here from Kaspa class, we can see Ethereum Petra introduces smart contracts, higher validator limits, and more layer 2 data capacity. Solana's Alpine Glow replaces the proof of history and Tower BFT with new consensus voter and rotor. And they signal one thing: the current layer 1 paradigms are cracking. With Petra, with Ethereum's issues, smart accounts are a workaround the EAOs, complex, fragile, and reliant on wallet upgrading. Raising validator caps to 2048 Ethereum is just increasing centralization pressure, and the blobs, a layer 2 bandage on a layer 1 throughput wound. The Petra is inherently just one is a significant upgrade. It is not a solution. It's not a fix. If anything, it's just made it worse. Fundamentally made it a lot worse, and that is going to be Ethereum's downfall. And Solana and with Alpine Glow is even more revealing, because they're tossing out proof of history because time-based ordering is fragile under real-world network conditions. Now the Tower BFT, it breaks under true decentralization, and they know it, so now it's voter and rotor experimental and unproven. So both Solana and both Ethereum have released some very, very significant, interesting transitions, upgrades, whatever you want to call it. And they both came out almost simultaneously, just as crescendo happened. The Petra came out, I think, 2 to 3 days after Kaspa's crescendo. I don't exactly know when this, rotor, I don't know when this Solana thing exactly was announced or came out, but it has not been that long either. And again, it's experimental, unproven. It's just a kind of a shot in the dark here. And both of them, again, so Ethereum's going to become more centralized, not fixing any of their issues really at all, in fact, making it worse. And Solana, well, they're taking a massive gamble with something that, again, will break under true decentralization. And it's fragile under real-world network conditions. So if Solana's meant to be this, ultimately right now, there's a massive competition with all layer 1s, all of them. Bitcoin, Sui'S, Solana, Ethereum, XRP, Kaspa, all these significant layer 1s out there, or ones that can have layer 1 functionalities, to become the layer 1 infrastructure for the entire crypto financial blockchain world. Everything. And Ethereum's too slow, Bitcoin's too slow, and Ethereum's also centralized. I mean, again, if you just even, for argument's sake, right, ignore the significant factor and benefit of decentralization and just look purely from a speed and security perspective, then Bitcoin, of course, falls short. Everything else has, apart from actually Ethereum falls short either as well. But all of them do fall short in certain aspects. And when these upgrades are coming out, none of them can handle these real world use cases, not at the scale they're talking about. In their tests, they can do, but when they're actually put to the test, they haven't been able to do so. I'm going to see that come through very, very soon. Of course, these two upgrades coming out around the Crescendo hard fork. With Crescendo, Kaspa's Ghost DAG gained finality, and it changes everything. Over 10 BPS or 10 BPS plus per second, finality in seconds, parallel block productions, commodity, hardware friendly, true scalability, and MEV resistance. Petra and Alpine Glow are desperate attempts to catch up. They see the writing on the wall. Proof of work isn't dead, it's now being reborn with Kaspa. And not just any proof of work, it's Ghost DAG power proof of work. It is so much bigger than anything that we have seen in this space in history. And it's only going to get better when you get the release of smart contract and when you get the release of DAG Knight as well. So that's just two elements getting into this post here from Naka Sompo regarding, again, how you have two of the biggest layer ones who have switched up to try and stay, up to date or stay caught up with Kaspa, and they aren't solutions. They aren't. Kaspa's going to very, very convincingly prove that wrong. And the thing with Kaspa, when it releases Ethereum virtual machines, Ethereum will slowly but surely become obsolete. And then eventually, Kaspa's going to release, at least it's going to be with IGRA. I'm not so much sure of Casplex, but I'm sure they will do as well. But I know IGRA have announced that they want to make sure they can be interoperable with the Move language, that Sui'S chain. with Solana virtual machines, so Solana's chain, with Bitcoin as well. So all the major layer ones, they may still have a place in this world, but they'll be running on top of Casper's layer 1 network. Or at least the dApps and tools on these networks, Solana, so it will all come to Casper because it's cheaper and it's, just sufficiently a lot better as well. DC says, we've got to be due a Casper pump soon. I'm getting tired of the cycle. We've still got so much longer left of the cycle, so I am not remotely worried right now. But we are, I do believe, due a pump very, very soon. What's up, Buffalo man? Hope you're doing very, very well today. Out on a job today. Just want to stop by and say hi. Great to have you here. And hopefully you're not overworking yourself, but again, staying busy. So yeah, great to have you pop by, my man. Hopefully you can tune in and watch back and playback. And also thank you, Mr. Miles, for the friend request acceptance via Discord 6 months later. Well, there you go, Mr. Miles. DC says, who are Solana and Ethereum worried about with these short-term panic fixes? Must be Sui, right? I'd love Casper to sneak past them all when they're looking at past each other. I think they're probably a little bit threatened by Sui, but I think they're more so actually threatened about Casper, because realistically, despite Casper's lack of price action, it is one of the most innovative projects in this space, without a shadow of a doubt, and their big upgrades came out conveniently and coincidentally around the Crescendo hard fork. Ethereum's one came out 2 days afterwards. I'm not sure when Solana's one came out, but it was not that long out afterwards. It's been only 17 days since the hard fork. Two of the biggest layer ones trying to significantly change their protocols to try and stay up and keep up with the space, and they're not going to be able to. I think Casper's the real answer for that. What's up, Ghosting Man? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing very, very well. Cryptony, you haven't seen the ND I sent you. No, I have not watched it because I'm currently away. I want to be at home, really just like back engrossed in my own space of working. And then I can, because I cannot tell you, Tony, I have so many messages from people right now that I'm trying to apply to, and other potential upcoming projects as well, that I've had to say, give me a week. I'll come back on Monday and I'll go through everything. So I've not seen it just yet, Tony, but I am actually thoroughly excited to go through it, and I will be looking at it. But I'll probably be looking at it either on the Sunday trip back or on the Monday. But I will get back to you as soon as possible, because I mean, again, I'm very excited to see it. I am very, very excited to see it. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. Most definitely have not. But then that is again talking regarding the Solana and Ethereum elements there. So let's get into the next parts here. Now going into talking about Tau. So we've got this here. Simon Kidd made a post here talk about how he loves BitTensor. And he's one of the biggest Tau fans, but he is a little bit worried right now. In the long and short of it, he's mainly worried about the longevity of Tau. You know, how the fact the substrates right now, they are fine for now, but what if the requirements are more bandwidth or throughput in the future? Will they be able to keep up? And right now there is no confirmation as such. And even Simon Kidd highlights here, so Simon Kidd here highlights here, that he doesn't actually hold Casper. I don't own any Casper. And again, you can choose to believe him or not, it's up to you. But what he's highlighting here is that he's not so much sure about if Tau will be good in the future, but he does believe that Casper actually will be perfectly fine, because Casper's protocol has been set up for success and thinking about longevity, not just thinking about here and now, like every other project in the space has pretty much been thinking about the current here and now. Or, I mean, they've been thinking about the future, but not in the same process, if you will. And the way that Christian Lubbock highlights him, replies here, is that I agree. Chain down, manual off switch is becoming a weird look for Tau. Probably just because of my proof of work maxi, but it seems like a stain on such a great project. And truth be told, I still very much like Tau. I think Tau is the strongest AI project in this space. And I do ultimately believe as well that Tau is going to do very well the cycle still. I still think that Ethereum and Solana are both going to do very, very well this cycle. They're massive projects. Tau is one of the most, exciting up and coming projects as well. So these will still do very well the cycle. It's just that while I hold Tau, I hold some others like Say, I hold some others like Sui as well. I hold a fair amount of projects. Of course, Casper by far and away my biggest holding. And I hold them because I do see the potential for them to do very well this cycle. But I can say with utmost confidence that at the end of the cycle, I am 99% chance selling everything I hold besides some Kaspa. Kaspa is the only project that I will be inclined to hold on just a little bit to at the very least, even after the cycle top, so to speak. Because these other projects, when you see the crypto come through, they, for me, could very well be on the chopping block. They have the partnerships, they have some decent infrastructure, so they'll probably be about for a little bit. But when I'm thinking future, I'm thinking 15 years in the future when everything comes onto crypto. Kaspa's the only one that I deem as worthy enough and safe enough to have everything on top of it, especially when Dagonite comes out, especially when the smart contracts come out, the native smart contracts. So to smoothly move on then, we got Sui being deemed as the Solana of this cycle, one of the most up and coming innovative projects. And I think Sui equally, despite this hack, I think even Sui is going to do well this cycle, and I still hold Sui. But we had breaking news that Sui'S, which is the main liquidity provider, the centralized exchange on Sui, has been hacked. $11 million in Sui was drained from the Sui USDC pool, with most tokens down 75% as pools are emptied. We have seen meme tokens, some of the biggest ones as well, like Lo-Fi again, down 75%, coming absolutely steamrolling down like a snowball effect. And again, as Chris highlights here, who is currently part of the marketing team lead for Nachos, like this again is why we need Kaspa. Kaspa Guru highlights here, Sui ecosystem rugged, never touched this VC coin. Hope none of y'all got wrecked too badly. And I again do hold some Sui. And again, one thing that I've been saying time and time again since I've been investing and doing this stuff is I understand my risk to reward. For me, my biggest bag is in Kaspa. That's my belief. You do as you will, you're your own investor. But for me, my biggest bag is in Kaspa because I have belief and faith and trust in the security and the centralized nature of Kaspa. I think Sui, I think XRP, I think Say, Tau, etc. I think all of them, Desync, all these projects will do very, very well. But because they have this fundamental factor that makes them slightly more centralized, I understand there's a risk to that. So the money I have in projects like XRP and Sui and Say, they are such a small portion that for me, they could still make me a good amount of gains a cycle. And I'd be happy with that. But if they go to zero, God forbid, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me either, because I've put a very small portion in. I've allocated it small enough to where I'd be happy if I made the money off it. It'd be a big multiplier and it'd definitely help out. But if I don't have it, then so be it. I don't need it. I don't. That's ultimately the safest way and the least emotionally taxing way, as you should be doing, as I do as an investor. Because I always say, don't be emotional, be logical. The logical thing is to understand your risk to reward ratio. That's why typically when I get into memes, so I do meme trading with my VIPs, we might do, X 15, whatever, X leverage, whatever it may be. I'm still not putting I'm not putting like $20,000 down on a trade. I'm not doing that. It'll be a very, very small sum. And of course, a multiplier can make it a lot bigger, but of course, increasing my risk as well. But you can see here again, this is the fundamental issue with centralized assets. Johnny highlights here, as time goes by, we will be constantly reminded of why we believed in Bitcoin and crypto, and finally realized letting decentralization be gone with the wind is the biggest mistake in our life. Crypto at the base layer was all about a hedge against a financial system that is very, very centralized. The fiat currency. It's meant to be freedom from that. That's what Bitcoin's meant to be, decentralized. Of course, it's meant to be also peer-to-peer. Bitcoin can't do that efficiently. But because it was perceived by the leaders in this space, being like Vitalik Buterin, for example, who created Ethereum, that it is literally impossible to be quick and secure and be decentralized, every single project in this space, 99% of them, if not 99.99% of them, they decided that, okay, well, we can't solve the trilemma. We can't have decentralization and security and scalability. So we've got to sacrifice one of them. In a space where scalability, so speed, and security means everything, we're going to sacrifice decentralization. That is the problem. And that's a problem that Kaspa has and is still, well, I think is still, it has solved it. And it's going to continue improving from there on out as well. Seriously, if your top priority is speed and streamlined experiences over security and trustlessness, plus permissionlessness, which is totally understandable, then why not just use Web 2 apps? Why are you getting involved in, the crypto element of these other centralized VC-backed projects who have their own personal interests, and maybe even just they're making it seem like, again, lipstick on a pig, looking like a very great project until they decide to completely ruin you. You can just get involved in stocks. I mean, again, this is just throwing some very excessive examples out there. But the whole premise is understandable if you want to try and focus on quick and streamlined experiences. But if you're choosing that over security, which while you might have high security, you being centralized does inherently lower your security capabilities. Because again, if you've got a team of 10 people, let's just say, being a centralized project, you've got a team of 10 or 15 or 20 validators, the hackers can just target 10 of you, 50% of you, or whatever it may be, and they completely destroy the network. With Kaspa, because it's decentralized, you have thousands upon thousands of miners out there. So it's significantly harder for you to attack the Kaspa centralized nature because you've got to be able to control over 50% of the project, of the mining power. That is not an easy feat. It's not impossible, but it's borderline impossible. Especially now that 10 BPS has come out. Because why? Because 10 BPS has made it more inclined, more of a reason to start solo mining instead of using liquidity pools. You can still use them, but you actually arguably make more money and it's more beneficial for you to use mining by yourself. Therefore, it makes it even more decentralized. So even more safer, therefore. And the hash rate, of course, makes up the security. If you value decentralized consensus, then Kaspa is the only available scalable option you have. That is not speculation, that is fact. Right now, there is no other project that is truly decentralized, fair launch, proof of work. That's still scalable and still secure. And we can even see here, of course, diving into it a little bit more. So again, this is Cetus who got hacked, the DEX. It's a DEX, aka decentralized exchange, but it's decentralized only in name. That's what I mean. When you're seeing all these other, it's actually such a coined term now, and it makes me quite frustrated as well. As Captain Sats highlights here, no end centralized projects like this, are deemed as a legit project, but also claiming decentralization. You are centralized at your base core. How can you be decentralized if at the very foundation of your project you're centralized? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. That is one of my internal strifes that I have with like XRP, for example, because XRP have the XRP Ledger, which is their decentralized platform, but Ripple, the company behind XRP, is centralized at its core. So how can you be a decentralized platform with a centralized backing? It doesn't make sense. Kaspa is the only project in this space that has decentralization at its core and is scalable. You've got Bitcoin, of course, but it's not scalable. But yes, again, so when you see these projects claim decentralization, you've got to understand the actual in-depth fundamentals, the foundation of the project. You've got projects like Sui'S, Sei, Hyperliquid, Solana, now Ethereum. Before it was proof of work and it was okay, and then it went to proof of stake because they couldn't hack it. You've got so many projects in this space that while they are achieving the streamlined nature and speed necessary to become a leading layer one in this space, they are fundamentally all at risk because of their centralized nature. It makes it easier for the hackers to take advantage of them. And if not even the hackers taking advantage of them, it makes it easier for them to take advantage of you and just take all the tokens or whatever out because they control majority of them. Their shareholders, their VCs, their insiders control most of them. With Kaspa, while you do have a lot of people holding a lot of tokens, of course, or coins, Kaspa coins, it's fundamentally a lot harder to you to rug Kaspa. It is borderline impossible because it's decentralized. In crypto, people usually have to learn the hard way. Proof of stake is a risk. Proof of work is the best solution. That's what crypto is meant to be at its base core with Bitcoin. Proof of work, decentralized. The reason why it is the best solution now exists because Kaspa exists. Proof of work was meant to be what we meant to do. That's how crypto is meant to be, proof of work. So you actually mine, you work to, generate income from mining the coins or the transactions in Kaspa's case as well as the coins. That's the whole premise of mining, but you don't stake it, you don't leave it there and it stacks over time. You mine it, you actually make it work. Energy is the most effective source of income. It's energy that matters. But it didn't work. Proof of work was deemed as a null and void thing and forgotten about because, again, Bitcoin was not scalable. So if people just think, oh, you can't do proof of work, it doesn't work. That's why we're so lucky to have Kaspa, because Kaspa actually does work. While it has to actually prove itself in the full limelight with the smart contract stuff like that, they're going to come through very soon. I'm hearing it more and more from these insider developers how soon they're going to be coming through. I haven't got a timeline still yet, and it's very frustrating, but we're being told soon. And the one thing that I can say with confidence is going to be before July. So that's going to be in the next month or so, therefore. We're going to see smart contracts coming on Kaspa. Kaspa will have smart contracts and enable people to do all the things people like to do on a proof of stake, but on a system that has Bitcoin type level of security and is fully decentralized. The hacker for Sui was not done. His wallet kept increasing. $400 million in Sui coins and another 60 million in Ethereum. Again, once more to highlight, these projects in this space, for me, they're still going to do well. Sui will still do well this cycle. Because you've got VCs inside of like Raoul Pal, Rory O'Neill. Like you've got massive VCs who have their own vested interests who will want the project to still do well. So it'll still do well. So will Ethereum, so will Solana, so will XRP. 99% of these cryptos will all explode this cycle. And then 99.9% of them will all go to zero because they are copycats of another project. They aren't as effective. They're just terrible. They don't comply with the regulations, whatever the reason may be. The ones that are going to survive for me, most definitely Bitcoin because of the proof of store value, and Kaspa most definitely. You'll probably see like the XRP survive for the time being because it has so many partnerships and it's got such a deep ingrained standing that it probably will survive, at least for the time being. Again, how long, I don't know. But for me, Kaspa is the one that I can say with utmost conviction, based on my research, based on what we look at every single day in these streams, and equally in my free Discord server community. Kaspa is going to survive and thrive. And you're going to see that all take off this cycle. You're going to see it take off the cycle. I won't necessarily say proof of stakes are scams or that sort of. I know a lot of people do like to believe that and say that, and you're well within your right to say it. You're well within your right to say it, and I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say it is the truth. I am currently saying that with these proof of stakes, with these other projects, there's an element of risk with them. Everything's a risk to reward. Proof of stake is a risk. That's how I perceive it as well. And I have diversified and a percentage of my portfolio in these other projects, such as Kaspa, because I do want to see, again, the potential of me maybe making an extra bit of money and then flipping that back into Kaspa. The opportunities are there, so I'm trying to capitalize on them. But basically, when Kaspa takes off, I won't have a need for anything else, and I'll just be hopefully going through everything on the Kaspa platform anyways. So what's the need for me to go to other platforms in general? As he highlights again, smart contracts will be coming out and enable people to do everything you're doing on other platforms, the XRP ledgers, the Sui'S, the Solana chains, the Ethereum chains. You can do all of that, but on Kaspa with a system that has Bitcoin type level security and is still fully decentralized. So therefore, now again, it's going to be safer, but again, you've got to remember, because Kaspa's open source, there will be some elements of protection, so to speak, but there will also be projects. There probably already are projects out there right now, truth be told. There might be right now, so you've got to be very careful. There are projects out there who have vested interests, who don't actually care about your safety, or they're just literally doing it to try and make a quick bag. I mean, again, the crypto space, you can make any crypto project you want, and it can be a scam. Kaspa's going to release this fully fledged DeFi system. You'll see initiatives coming out that will have no actual real use case besides just trying to take your money. So you've got to be very, very careful on what you're reading up to, what links you're clicking on. If you want to be more connected, then you again have a free Discord server on my homepage right here, equally down in the description as well, where we're talking about crypto and Kaspa and other elements as well, constantly trying to increase our knowledge about the space, trying to, just understand more what's going on. And equally, why I am also trying to actively trying to help give an element of protection, because again, there's only so much I can do, but an element of protection in the community, because again, I have mentioned it recently, there are people in my community who unfortunately was victim to scandals and bad actor schemes. Actually, before I get into that, Tony with the $5 donation, thank you very much, brother. Decentralization is why I said XRP is poison. For years, these hacks and problems are why I said there's no point in holding anything else other than Kaspa. And I mean, again, you are completely right in that. The term decentralization be coined, because decentralization is what it's meant to be perceived to be, but if you've got a centralized project behind it, there's nothing really decentralized about it. You've got a centralized project behind it. What's decentralized about it, therefore? It's failed at the very, very first level. And it is the poison of the space. That's what I made a post about it as well, in a similar limelight. I made a post about it. I posted it in my community as well. You had the MiCA regulations in Europe. While they're going to help accelerate crypto adoption and bring more clarity to the space, they are so rigid, and they also are inherently too rigid and will end up stifling innovation as well. And will be very, it will help accelerate stablecoin adoption, but also end up restricting the space. And the KII actually responded to my post saying, thank you for this, and you're completely right. They even told me that there was a Kaspa community member who tried to approach and take part in these policy discussions that are happening, these open policy discussions where you can just talk openly, and they were denied because Kaspa was not a crypto company, which again is a part of the problem of this space. It's a big, big issue. So again, that's for me why Kaspa is, without a shadow of a doubt, and Tony's right, without a shadow of doubt, just there's to an extent, and I say to an extent, truth be told, there is realistically no other reason to hold anything else besides Kaspa. There's a valid argument in that. I hold other things purely because I do see a potential for me to understand my risk, flipping profit, and then putting it back into Kaspa. But for me, what I will say with confidence again is that I am not holding anything else besides Kaspa after the cycle. Again, do your own research, trading discretion, but there is definitely a point to be made in there. And it's a fair point that, again, nothing in this space is safe, because most of them are proof of stakes and centralized, and they have their own vested interest. If they see something's going bad, they can just take it all. I mean, again, think of Mantra. We've had Mantra. We've had Sui'S hack now. We've had Terra Luna. I mean, again, those are probably not comparable when you're thinking about Mantra and Terra Luna to the Sui'S hack, but is once more, again, these are projects that were centralized at the beginning and had terrible tokenomics, and the exact ins and out of what happened, while still not being fully disclosed, they have now capitulated. They've struggled. And yeah, I mean, it's a tough day as a Sui'S holder, I'm sure. Tough day as a Sui'S holder. And I might come back full circle, talk about it again later on in the stream, but for me, again, I still hold Sui'S. I think it's still not a bad shout this cycle. It'll still do well, but it's not Kaspa. It's not Kaspa. Nothing in this space is Kaspa. It is the safest project in this space, and while people are going to FUD it still, you're still going to hear FUD about it. Keep doing your own research. Even me saying it's the best project in the space, don't just take my word for it. Research, learn why I say that. Check out my community, there's also to say it as well. In regards to talking about proof of stakes, aka proof of scams, if you will, this post from KDAO highlights just to let you know the Telegram link attached to CoinGecko/CashFi is not official KDAO channel. It's actually a scam channel. So if you've been trying to check out the KDAO channel through CoinGecko or CashFi, it's a scam. Don't check it out. And on the topic of scams, again, I mentioned it in my stream yesterday, and I talked about it again in my community as well. I'm trying to actually now be more vocal. As much as I have, got my warnings out there, I want to try and be more vocal in my warnings. There are community members, while I understand this community is growing more and more, there are members in my community who have unfortunately become victim to social engineering scams and whatnot. And it breaks my heart to see that. It really, really does. And these sort of, scams, the only way to stop them is to be aware. So to announce this now, I do highly encourage everybody to come chill, chat, and learn more in the Discord server. Equally the VIP one, but I might try and show that a little bit more later on. But I do highly encourage everyone to come check out the free Discord server, because again, it's where we chill chat, learn more about crypto, and people have learned a lot in there. Bit of a rowdy community. Everyone's everyone's got jokes in there apparently, but I think it's a very nice space. And want to highlight there as well, there are going to be accounts that will personate me or even my mods. I will never ever send you a friend request on Discord. I will be happy to accept yours. I've not got a problem with that. But I will never ever send you a friend request. I'll never send you a message on Discord, not privately at least. I might send you an in the Discord server if I feel the need to, but chances are I won't. I will never send you a message privately on Discord. I'll never add you on Discord, because that's how these hackers get to you. They make you think that they're me or my mods, and they'll try to then take advantage of you and effectively try and get your personal information, or even then take your crypto. So if you want to have a place where you can, again, be up to date with Kaspa, continuously learn more about what's coming to the space, the free server there is more than welcome for you to join that, and you'll learn a lot more there. I can almost guarantee that. I think everyone's learned a lot about Kaspa in there. But just be aware, again, that with you joining, there's going to be people who unfortunately are going to try and take advantage of you. So don't add any account that's impersonating me. You're more than welcome to join the Discord and add me if you wanted to. Go into the Discord server. You'll see me as admin, of course. Click on that name and press add. I don't mind adding people. So it's not big enough yet for me to feel like it's a concern anyway. So I can add you, and that's fine. But I won't add you first, because that's, again, my protection and your protection as well from scammers and bad actors. So that's my 2 cents on that. Again, I do think that it's even more important now that everyone needs to learn more about this space and equally be more aware, because these sort of projects are going to go, you're going to see more hackers, more bad actors taking advantage of people in this space. It's not going to be something that's going to die down anytime soon. And even with Kaspa, despite Kaspa being decentralized, you'll still see bad actors taking advantage of people on Kaspa, whether it be social engineering or either be incentives building projects, fake projects on Kaspa to try and take your coins. Be very careful. And again, be careful of this KDAO link as well. Do not interact with it. Again, link to join the Discord server or down below in the description. And equally, there is a Scam Watch channel on there as well, to which I'm going to be posting some of the example screenshots of a community member of mine that did get taken advantage of, so people are aware of how they operate, and hopefully, therefore, don't have. I mean, actually, speaking of which, right now I just got a message. I just got a message here. I got a message here from Binance saying I've successfully paired your Binance API key to Ledger Live. I haven't. I'm talking to you all right now. I know it's not me. I know it's not me. So what I'm going to end up doing is changing my password. That's all I can do realistically on Binance. But again, this is Binance again, and I know that's not me. So, and they're saying if that wasn't you, urgently call this number. I know it's not Binance. Despite the name says Binance, I know it's not Binance. I'm not trying to get me to call a random number. So all I have to do then is change my password. Be very careful. These social engineering scams they're crafty. They're very, very crafty. And regardless of some more Kaspa updates, before I get some of the questions real quick, we have this one here from Castle Wallet, looking very much like the Phantom Wallet here, which is very, very cool. I do like their design. Phantom Wallet and Castle seem to be following in suit. First look at Castle mobile dashboard. We're getting closer to smooth UX, all your Kaspa and tokens in one place, right in your pocket. Again, Ledger Tangent does exist if you don't need it, but again, it's still more interesting stuff to come out, and it might be an easier access to get trading your Kaspa and KYC and whatnot as well. So that's a very, very good thing to see again. So we're seeing more developments coming out, which is very, very cool. And we'll get into some of the macro news, but beforehand, I'm going to get into some of the questions real quick, because there has been a bit of time now. Where am I going to see this? Where am I? I am. Mateo says, what do you think is the best Kaspa meme coin? How much X can the best meme coins go? I mean, I don't know. I think the best meme in regards to just pure stats right now, it is probably Nacho. I think Nacho by far has proven itself to be the strongest one in the space. The projects that I have a lot of conviction in is Nacho, Kango. I think Kaspa's going to be decent. I think Wolfie actually is a massively slept on Chaos 20 project. I mean, again, I live in London, and the Wolfie's bar, kind of the basis of Wolfie, his bar is in London as well. So I do have conviction in Wolfie being a decent meme as well. It's not me trying to shill it. Again, you do your own research. I do think Wolfie's quite a good meme. I think there are many ones that are decent in this space. How well they all do, I cannot say for sure. The only thing I can say is, from what I know and heard from regarding to memes, at least the biggest one, so therefore in this case Nacho, is typically speaking, the Nacho meme should amount to 5 to 10% of the total market cap of Kaspa. So if Kaspa has a $2 billion market cap, Nacho by logic therefore should be 100 to 200 million, which right now of course is not near that at all. It might change when the cycle rallies up again more, you get more adoption. So if that is the case, therefore, it means, should we say, Kaspa reaches a $100 billion market cap, being a $4, let's just say, Nacho by logic should reach therefore 5 to 10 by logic. But again, we'll have to wait and see how well they'll do. We are still very, very early. I think these moves are massively slept on. They're going to do very, very well. I know the likes of Kraken did announce potential of looking at these memes now, so you might see them start rallying soon as well, which is reassuring to see. DC says Simon Kidd is a massive Kaspa fan too. Bit of a okay, well, fair enough, man. I mean, again, he held loads of Kaspa early-ish, but sold. I mean, again, him being a Kaspa fan is quite nice. Not holding Kaspa, again, if he's still shilling Kaspa, not that he needs to, but if he's still showing support of Kaspa despite not holding it, that again shows his belief in the project. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's still good to see again that people are understanding that Kaspa is just in a completely different boat to everything else. Welcome back, DD man, who's doing very, very well, brother. Listening to the guys on Sin City earlier talk about Kaspa, they just saying Kaspa needs smart contract and adoption, true, and to be tested. Then they mentioned it was like Litecoin. I mean, Litecoin is a proof of work, of course, but yeah, it's a very weirdish comparison when you think that Kaspa is already sufficiently faster and better than Litecoin already. So how can it be like Litecoin when it's already better? But I mean, yeah, what Kaspa does definitely need is adoption of smart contracts, and those things will come through the cycle for me, no doubt. No doubt at all. Welcome back, Ivan, bro. Kaspa is the best 100%, man. No doubt about it. Kaspa just had to prove itself, which it will 100% also. Yeah, Kaspa's going to prove itself in due time. DC says, feels like more noobs are starting to notice Kaspa exists at the moment, gaining traction. Oh, yeah. I mean, of course it is. Kaspa right now is rallying. Currently up. Sorry. Currently up 2% since the beginning of April. And not 2%, sorry, 2x. And it's going to continue rallying from this point on. It's definitely found this bottom, I'd like to believe. So it's going to probably continue rallying from this point onwards. And I hope the Moon Boys don't come back out. I think it might be a bit much, but I think Kaspa's going to blow people away, no doubt. Bridged and native stablecoins on the near instant proof of work network is going to be so cool. I mean, yeah, you're so right, Magnus, it is. Kaspa's going to bring out something truly, truly innovative. Something that has never been done in this space before. And it's going to completely blow people away, and it does happen because it's going to showcase that you can actually make what crypto is meant to be, really, really secure, decentralized, while still being able to do everything that you can already do on all these proof of stakes. It's just going to be absolutely insane. Shared Bro in corporate says, I know you don't do predictions, but I think the cycle we can maybe see 25 to 40 cents, which really isn't that great. It's 100k Kaspa or less. What year do you think you'll reach $2? I think 25 cents to 40 cents is easily achievable. And I still think Kaspa can surpass that this cycle. How long do we see $2? I mean, $2 is currently a $52 billion market cap. And I don't know if it will hit that this cycle. I'm not going to say if it will or won't. I will say it's a possibility. When you think about the fact of Solana and AVAX and Cardano and Ethereum, all these projects that, while less competition, exploded like crazy 8, 10, 15x's in value in the last 3 months. What's happening in the space right now, Sui'S again incurring hacks when Kaspa exists. You're seeing massive layer 1 protocols going through huge game-changing upgrades, seemingly in rebuttal to Kaspa and its crescendo. I'm not saying Kaspa's going to go to the moon. I'm not giving my predictions. I'm saying that I think 25 to 40 cents Kaspa is easily achievable this cycle. I arguably say it's a no-brainer, not financial advice. And I think it can surpass that. And I think $2 is still a possibility. Again, we are so early right now. We are currently on the 22nd of May. We have still got a good 3-4 plus months left of the cycle. We can see that even here. Before I get into that, we can see it even here. And then Tevit highlights here, just to clarify, the market structure bill is one of the bills under consideration for June 10th date. So we already have the stablecoin bill moving up right now, almost close to being signed into law, which is great news. And now we're seeing that the market structure bill, which will go hand in hand with the stablecoin bill, will be under consideration and therefore decided on around June 10th, which is only, 2 weeks away from now? The decision draft of the updated FIT21 bill was released 2 weeks ago as well, and the markup is expected in a few weeks. We're seeing multiple of these massive regulatory bills that will act as market catalysts for institutional adoption into crypto, accelerating more and more, going into August, or close to August now. A video here that I will probably post in my community, maybe not play right now, from Senator Bill Hagerty, who says his goal is simple: make certain that the stablecoin legislation passes, and it most definitely will. You're seeing Kraken. You saw Bybit already. Now Kraken are going to be offering tokenized US stocks for users worldwide. That is huge. Everything's going to be on crypto. FIFA signs partnership with Avalanche, AVAX, to build its own blockchain. These are big developments that's going to help crypto accelerate further. And I think Kaspa's going to steal liquidity from other chains because of what it is. Control Cost says, I tell every single person I know about Kaspa. As you should, my man. Cryptony says it doesn't really matter if they are scams or not. Proof of stake is not decentralized, which is arguably the most important aspect of crypto. They don't follow the ethos of Bitcoin and can never be viable currencies. You're completely right there. Again, I'm highlighting that my belief in holding this other project is just purely to, again, flip a quick buck, if you will. Like, again, for me, Kaspa is wholeheartedly the strongest project in the space. I don't discredit that. And it's quite counterintuitive and quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Conflicting, I guess. Me saying that I understand Kaspa's the best, but I'm still holding other projects. I'm holding other projects because I do see them, again, let's just say for argument's sake, Sui makes a 10x a cycle. Going to $38 is a bit much, I guess, but let's just say for argument's sake it does that. You know, I can make that 10x and then flip that back into Kaspa. If it also goes to 0, it doesn't matter. Again, in terms of like right now we're in a stage where crypto is about to go through an absolute game-changing transformation with institutional adoption. In this stage, everything's going to go parabolic, and then it'll be fleshed out for what actually matters. That's why I hold Kaspa, because they're going to be doing well this cycle, and it's the ones that actually matter. Everything else has the early mover advantage and will do very well, but when it comes to how they actually function and matter, they'll fall short. Happening after the cycle. That's why I'm going to sell most after the cycle. But yes, these other assets, these tokens, they aren't viable currencies because, again, they are proof of stakes. They all defeat the purpose of crypto. Only Bitcoin and Kaspa will survive. I think you'll see more survive because, again, centralization control, they'll do what they want to do. You'll see some survive, but for me, Kaspa and Bitcoin are the two most sure to survive. Money can still be made with them, Tony. Your statement is, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying as well, DC. Like, while, again, I do agree Bitcoin and Kaspa are the strongest in this space, money can still be made with the other ones. So that's why I hold them as well. But at the same time, yes, like, they will most go to 0. But yeah, these Bitcoin and Kaspa are cryptocurrencies. Everything else seems to be a crypto company. Who has already seen the film Point Break? Kaspa is a surfer's final wave. Oh, Point Break was an incredible film. And yeah, it's definitely going to be that sort of endgame scenario, the final wave of the surfer, I agree. There's nothing safe in an economic collapse, even gold. You can eat it when you're starving. I mean, when an economic collapse happens, yes, sure, but there's nothing guaranteeing you that Kaspa will, that economic collapse is definitely like happening. Like, we're seeing a lot of warning signs right now, again, with stocks went down today all at once because of the horrible bond auction in the United States for the 20-year treasuries, which is, again, lack of bidders. 20-year bonds surged up 5%, which is basically an increased worry about inflation, ultimately. But despite that, crypto and Bitcoin is running high, and that's because, again, people are perceiving crypto and Bitcoin as this hedge against the financial system now, with everything going on the financial system right now. That negative news caused stocks to crash, but Bitcoin's actually gone up to all-time highs. Mr. Mars says, I'm still waiting on you to send back my Casper and double. You asked me for... Oh, go away, Mr. Mars. Sui'S is barely down as far as CMC is showing. What's the fuss? It came down significantly earlier when the initial announcement came out. It came down, it came about, 4%, give or take? About 5-6% when it originally happened. But again, you've got to remember, Sui'S got VC backing insider, so they would have kept the project up right now. If that was Casper, God forbid, that would have come down like probably 20% on the day. But because Sui'S have insiders and VC backing, and it's a top 11 crypto project, they would have kept the price up, kept it pumping up. Let's see where it goes from here ultimately. I'm just seeing more questions real quick. XRP is next. XRP has malicious backdooring code that's stealing users' private keys straight from XRP. I mean, again, I hold some XRP. I think for me, the reason why I'm not too worried as well is I hold assets like Sui'S, XRP. I do not participate in those ecosystems. The only one that I do participate into is Solana's, like when I traded meme coins. Other than that, I've not used Sui'S one. I've not used XRP's one. I haven't used any other one apart from Ethereum's and Solana's right now. And Casper's, of course. And hopefully in this video, it will only be Casper that I use. Just seeing more questions. KYC sucks balls. I mean, you can make that comment. Yeah, KYC has not done very well right now, but I don't think it's actually that bad. I don't think it's that bad, truth be told. Pepe, hidden gem of KYC. I mean, Pepe could be a decent one as well. Again, we'll have to wait and see how the market recovers when capital recovers as well. Mr. Mars trying to shill some free Mr. Mars meme coin again. Just complete waffler. He's one of my mods as well, and he's just waffling all the time. It's crazy. The reason anybody compared Litecoin to Casper is because they both claim the title of silver to Bitcoin's gold. Yeah, and Casper, I think, has surpassed that already. Once Casper gets smart contracts, it's game over. The next 12 months, it will be explosive. I agree, Robert. I really do. I think, again, Casper is at that cusp right now where it's going to shock a lot of people. No, only Robin from Sin City Silver and Sin City Crypto made the comparison. David's stuck up for Casper. He's mega bullish on it. Well, I think, again, a lot of people who have done in-depth research understand the difference between Casper and Litecoin. Litecoin managed to hit 10 million transactions or something like that in like the first 3 months. Casper did it in a day. There's not really a comparison to be made. In terms of what they're meant to be, Casper is better. $2 Casper by 2028, maybe. If we see it end of this year, that will still be 2028. Oh, I mean, yeah. I guess you're right. So, yeah, you're saying it'll happen before 2028, but if it happens this year, then you're still right. I mean, I guess so. The cycle, I think, we'll see close to just or over $1. Maybe. Who knows? 50 billion is only a 30th of Bitcoin's market. I mean, that's also true. That's what I'm being like. The way I perceive Casper's potential price is, again, I try and compare it to Bitcoin, because you've got to think about it as well. Remember the stream yesterday, where we showcased Crypto Jeb, 200,000 subscribers, who's a Bitcoin maximalist, who's highlighting that Casper is good and could potentially do 100x from here. While he's just throwing numbers out there, point being is you're seeing Bitcoin maxis who've acknowledged Casper, and more are acknowledging Casper. So you're going to see Bitcoin maxis slowly but surely jumping over ship to Casper. So when this alt season starts, majority of this capital could end up flowing into Casper because of the map. I mean, that's retail, I guess, but it's not flowing to Casper. That's why I still think it could do better than people expect, because Casper it's got that pedestal right now. But I guess with that being said, that is pretty much all the source for today's stream today. Again, you've got a lot of these projects right now, the big blockbusters being Sui'S, Solana, Ethereum, and even then Tau. And I still think, again, all four, and even then the rest will still do well the cycle. I'm probably the most bullish right now out of those ones, probably being Tau, being AI, being a big factor. But Again, when it comes to longevity, the future of money for me, Kaspa is a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer. And Kaspa's going to prove itself very, very soon. Smart contracts on the horizon. Bitcoin's making all-time highs right now. Very, very good to